Hello, this is Jeff Steiner from Americans in France, and today I am talking with Paul Shawcross. Paul, are you there?
Yes, I am, Jeff.
Paul is the author of Nice and Beyond, an app for Android and iOS. Is that right, Paul?
That's correct.
The splash screen on the app. And what building is this, Paul?
This is the famous Hotel Negresco on the Promenade des Anglais, Jeff. It's a Belle Epoque hotel, very, very nice building. Quite expensive to stay in, but I think sort of place you might treat yourself to. It is really nice, and it's right on the front overlooking the sea.
Must be a nice place.
It's very nice, very pleasant. It's about 10 minutes, quarter of an hour from the centre of Nice, and walking, and it's very nicely situated.
Okay, now this is the second slide. Where is this at, Paul?
Well, this is the old town of Nice, Via Nice, they call it, and it's very Italian. Nice is an Italianate city because for a long time Nice was part of Italy, and in fact until 1860 it remained part of Italy, part of Sardinia, Piedmont, and only came into France after a plebiscite in, as I say, 1860.
Oh yeah, that's right. So it hasn't been around. It hasn't been part of France for a long time.
No, it hasn't. A lot of famous Italians, including Giuseppe Garibaldi, came from Nice, and they were born there.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay, Paul, so here's the next slide, and what is this?
Yeah, this is the Quai des Etats-Unis, which is to commemorate the participation of the Americans in World War One, and it was put up in 1917. It's quite a striking building just off the Opera Plage on the front at Nice, and you can go straight through that portico you can see there, and you're into the famous market of the Cours-Saleya.
Oh, that sounds like a nice place.
It is a very nice place, and it's one you should head for.
And what slide is this? Or what are these bikes? That's what I should say.
These bikes are an ideal way of getting around Nice because it's quite spread out. The old city is small, but if you want to look at some of the things in the modern city, you need a bike or some form of transport, and these are ideal. You can hire a bike, and you can hire it for various periods of time and leave them. There's 175 stations throughout Nice, and I believe about 1,750 bikes. So you're always going to get a bike, and it's a great way to get around.
That does sound like a nice way to get around.
Yeah, yeah.
And what are these guys doing?
These guys, this is quite a modern addition to Nice. It's in the Place Massena. And Massena was one of Napoleon's generals, and the square named after him. They quite recently redeveloped it to bring a new modern tram through it. You can just about see the tram lines going through the centre there. And part of the architecture is this what they call the Conversation of Nice. And it's seven poles with polystyrene men sitting on the top. And it comes into its own in the evening when they light up, and they're all, different colours, red, pink, green, and they flash on and off as if they're talking to each other, and that's hence the idea of the conversation in Nice. And it's really a very, very attractive thing to witness and to look at. And even during the day, they look unusual standing there.
That looks interesting. And in the centre of Nice?
In the centre of Nice, yes, almost in the very centre. Not far away from the old town, so it's easy to walk from the old town and see this.
Where is this? Now, this must be outside of Nice.
Yes, this is the Beyond referred to in the app. Up behind Nice, you have some very, very high mountains and a wonderful national park called the Mercantour National Park. And this is one of the main centres. It's a small town called Saint-Martin-Vésubie, and it's a nice place to stay, and it gives you access to the whole of the Mercantour to the mountains, and it's about, I guess, just over an hour by car from Nice. You come upon it quite quickly, and it's as I say, one of the best places to stay if you want to look around the mountains.
That does sound nice. Now, what's this? This is a nature reserve?
Yes, it is. It's not far from Saint-Martin, the little town we were just looking at, and it's called Alphalou. It's at a place called Le Bourrion, which is a reserve for wolves. So there are quite a few wolves in captivity here, and the idea is to promote the wolf and try to convince people it's not such a bad thing after all, because in recent years, wolves have come back into France from Italy, where there've always been quite a few wolves. They don't persecute them there, whereas they used to in France. And this is just, as I say, to try and persuade people that maybe you should live and let live, and they're not quite as bad as you think. Okay, they'll take a sheep now and again, but by and large, they're up in the high mountains, and they don't bother anybody.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now, Paul, so thanks for watching, everyone. Now, how can people buy your app?
Well, they can buy it from the Apple Store, from the iTunes Store, just by putting in the title Nice and Beyond. That should bring it up in a search. And the same if you have an Android phone, you would buy it from Google on the Google Play Store, and by putting in the same title, that brings it up.
Okay, good. And I also have on my website, americansinfrance.net/apps. I have many apps, including yours, on there too. So there's a couple of places for people to buy.
That's correct, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you very much, Paul. It's been nice talking with you.
Okay, Jeff, you're welcome.